One of the most powerful metaphors in the Kathopanishad is verses 1.3.3 to 1.3.9. It maps the whole human condition and spiritual journey onto the image of a chariot. Know the self as the rider of the chariot, the body as the chariot itself, the intellect as the charioteer, and the mind as the reins. This is the setup. The Atman is not the body, not the senses, not even the mind. It is the master, the one seated within. The body is just the vehicle. It doesn't decide where to go. The intellect is the driver, ideally making decisions based on dharma. And the mind, it's like the reins, connecting the driver to the horse's senses. If the mind is shaky, the reins go loose, the chariot veers off track. The senses are called the horses, and the sense objects are their paths. He who is united with the body, mind and senses, the wise call him the enjoyer, the experiencer. The senses are like horses. They pull towards their desired objects: sound, taste, touch, sight and smell. If they're wild, they drag you wherever they want. The one who's experiencing all this, riding along with this setup, is the Jivatma, bound to this whole apparatus of body and mind. But he who lacks discrimination, whose mind is unrestrained, his senses become uncontrollable, like bad horses for a charioteer. If your intellect is weak and your mind is indisciplined, the horse's senses will run wild. The rider is helpless. You're dragged into indulgence, error, suffering. Life becomes a wreck. Your chariot is out of control. But he who has wisdom, whose mind is always restrained, his senses obey him well, like noble horses with a skilled charioteer. This is the ideal. When your intellect is sharp and your mind is under control, the senses follow your direction. You don't become emotionless, but you're in charge, not dragged around by impulses. Now, your chariot moves toward the right goal. He who lacks wisdom, whose mind is always unrestrained and impure, he does not reach that supreme goal. Instead, he enters the cycle of birth and death. No control, no progress. The undisciplined one doesn't reach the ultimate, the supreme state. Instead, he gets thrown back again and again into samsara, suffering, rebirth, confusion. But he who has wisdom, whose mind is calm and pure, he reaches that supreme state from which there is no more return. This is moksha, the one who uses the intellect as a guide, who keeps the mind steady and pure, reaches the eternal, the highest state. No more rebirth, no more bondage. He who has the intellect as charioteer and the mind as firm reins, he reaches the end of the road, that supreme state of Vishnu. This seals it. Vishnu's supreme state here is the metaphor for the final goal, not a location, but spiritual completion. The end of the road means reaching the other shore, beyond suffering, time and identity. It's not a matter of worship alone, but of self-mastery, clarity and balance. So what's the takeaway? You're not the chariot, you're the one riding in it. And your journey depends entirely on who's driving, how firm the reins are, and whether the horses are well trained. A weak driver plus loose reins equals disaster. A wise driver plus steady reins equals liberation.